Hello, young Africans. Gozio Fonze is here again. If nobody in your family has ever been a millionaire before, I want you to listen to me carefully. You have to listen to me because, of course, we might have similar story. Most of us in Africa actually come from a very, what we describe today as humble background. Of course, there is nothing humble about our background because you know what I mean. So, across Africa, a lot of people are living in abject poverty. A lot of families are submerged in poverty. They are facing a lot of difficulties. They are suffering. A lot of families actually live below $1 per day. It might sound insane, but that is the truth. And crazy enough, most of us come from some of these families. So if you are coming from a family like mine and you want to be a millionaire, I think you should watch this video to the end. Because in this video, I'm going to give you three things you must start doing if you want to give yourself a real chance of becoming a millionaire in your lifetime. So number one, what is the first thing I think you must do? First, you must change your mindset. When we talk about changing your mindset, a lot of people feel like, oh, just give me money, give me capital, this, that. I already have ideas, I know what to do. But it's not always like that. You need to first of all work on your mindset. And I call it change your list of whys. Because a lot of people, because of the experiences we've had, the background, growing up, the things we were taught, we really do not understand money. We don't know how to handle money. We don't know what money is meant for. Growing up, we saw money as a tool to solve problems, to spend. So whenever money enters your hand, one of the first questions you keep asking is, what do I buy? What do I buy? What do I buy? What do I buy? So when you change your list of whys, one of the first things you are going to work on is changing from what do I buy whenever money comes into your hand to how do I use this money to get me more money? Because when you change your list of whys, you get different answers. When you ask yourself, for example, what do I buy? You begin to, you come online, you see clothes, you see shoes, you see things you need to buy. And of course, these things are necessary. I'm not saying they're not important. All right, maybe you don't have, maybe you have just 2 pairs of trousers, and then let me just add the third one. Let me add the fourth one. Let me add 2 extra so that I will look good. I don't have a sofa. Let me get a sofa. I don't have a bed. Let me get a bed. These things are important. So nobody is saying that they are not important. But I'm talking for somebody who is coming from a very poor background and somebody who is coming from zero, who wants to build something, who wants to become a millionaire. You really have to change the way you think, because that is the first things you need to do. Change your list of whys. Change the questions you ask. What do I buy? To what do I do with this money to get me more money? Personally, when I started working on my mentality, my mindset, it was hard. I would not lie to you, but then it was worth it. Because most of the times when I see money, when money comes into my hand, instead of thinking of things that I don't have that I need to get, I now start asking myself, what do I need to do to save myself from this situation? What do I need to do to make more money from this money? And that was how I started investing. That was how I saved up to start my first business and then start working on it. And then I moved into learning a skill and all of that, because I asked that question, because of that mind shift. Ordinarily, most of this money that I used to do some of these things, I could have used them to do something else that is also important. I keep saying it's important because I'm not trying to say that your choice of choosing to do this is not. No, the things you spend money on are important. It's just that they are not as important as building yourself things that will make you more money. Because when you have more money, you are able to solve those problems, and then you still have more. So your mindset is one of the first things you have to work on. It's one of the first things you have to work on. Changing your list of whys, as I always say, it is going to be a miracle in your life. If you can be able to change your list of whys, you are going to experience the greatest turnaround in your financial journey. Why is this happening to me? Why always me? And you could change it. To what do I learn from this to have a better outcome the next time? What do I learn from this to have a better outcome the next time? Why am I always failing? What do I need to learn? So it's about the questions you are asking yourself. It's about the mindset. It's about the things that comes to your mind the moment money enters into your hand. It's about the choice of problems you decide to solve the moment money comes into your hand. So it's all about the mindset. It's all about the head. It starts here. It starts here. So one of the first things you need to do if you want to be the first millionaire in your family is to change your list of whys, to change the way you think, to change how you see money. Instead of thinking of what you want to buy when you get money, you can start thinking of how do I invest this money to make more money for myself? How do I invest this money? How do I invest this money? What do I do with this money? You start asking questions. And when you start asking questions, you start getting answers. Because as many as those that seek, they find. If you can ask questions, you will find answers. Surprising answers that would transform your life. What do I do? What do I do with this? And then even people you never expected to get those answers from are the ones that will give you some of these answers. They might not even be applying it in their own lives, but they will know the answers, but just that they don't have the discipline to do it. And they will tell you, and because you are serious about improving your income, improving your life, changing your story, changing your financial story, you take action on those things and then you get the result they never got because they never took those actions. All right, so it's about what questions are you asking? It's about the mindset. So change your mindset towards money. That is the first thing you need to do if you want to be the first millionaire in your family. The second thing you must do if you want to be the first millionaire in your family is to start investing early. Early is very important. And this brings me to what I call delayed gratification. Delayed gratification. Living below your means. Because I'm assuming that you're also coming from a poor family and then you don't have enough. You're not earning enough. So I'm trying to put myself in your shoes because I've been there. All right? What do you need to do? What do you need to do? The first thing you need to do is to imbibe in yourself the spirit of delayed gratification, being able to forgo things for later. How about I do this tomorrow? How about I do this next year? How about I do this next 2 years? So that I can have enough finance to invest today. Because the resources I have, at that early stage, you have a very big problem, which is the income problem. That is the first problem you have. As somebody who is coming from a poor background, who is coming from zero, you have the income problem. So at this point in time, you are looking at yourself and you're not earning enough. The income you're getting is not enough. All right? And there is no miracle. There's no miracle. Some of us want to involve in betting, want to do this. No. That is not the way out. The way out is to cut down your expenses, because even if you make 200,000 and you spend 200,000, if you make 1 million, there is no guarantee that you're going to be wealthy. Because every day, the more money you make, the more reasons you have to spend money. I'm telling you, because let's say you make 200,000 and then you're living in a self-com, and then you start making 1 million and you decide to move to a flat. Then when you move to a flat, maybe you decide to get married, maybe you decide to do this, maybe you decide to do that. Some of the things you decide to do will bring in extra expenses. It means you are spending more. You now have more reasons to spend more money, meaning that the money you have is not enough. So when we talk about this, people will be like, oh, let me even get bigger income first. No, the money I'm getting now is too small for me to do this thing you're talking about. You don't know my reality and all of that. When I finished from NYC, the first job I got, I was being paid 20,000. 20,000 naira. That was the first job I ever got after I left school and I finished my service. All right, and in that 20,000 naira, I managed to always save 10,000. Now, when the money comes in, I just pull out the 10,000, then I just put it in a place where I can't touch it. All right, I can't go there to take it even if I'm hungry. Then when I do that, I now begin to look for means to survive because the other 10,000 obviously cannot carry me. It cannot carry me. So because of that, I have to, start creating channels to make money. Start, looking for other sources of income, other sources of sustenance, while I maintain that, okay, every month I'm putting this aside. All right, I'm putting this aside for investment, and those money was the money I used to start my business. Those money I put aside was money I used put together to start my business. From those money was the money I put together to learn the skills I have now, the digital skills I have. All right. So one of the first things you have to know is that even if somebody is going to help you, you need to have something. You can't say I don't have anything. You can say, okay, I have this. All right. Because people have helped me. That's why I'm saying, even if somebody wants to help you, a friend gave me 100,000 to learn digital marketing, but the cost was 200,000. He gave me 100,000. Imagine if I didn't have the 100,000. That's how I'll be moving around, complaining, oh, the money is not enough, and I'll miss the opportunity. Or if by the time he told me, I'm going to give you half, but you have to get the other half by yourself. I will not start looking for other people that will give me the other half. Or I will start, what if I didn't get it? And I tell him I can't get it. And he say, oh, well, the half is all I have. We'll wait for another time. And you miss the opportunity like that. All right. So some of us are not able to bring out something because we have not been keeping something aside. So you have to make room for investment. And investment is not only in stocks. Investment can be in anything. Starting a business. Starting a business is an investment. It can go right. Now, I know that a lot of people say, oh, you can start a business and it will go wrong. Yes, it can also go right. You can invest even in stocks and it will go wrong. But it can also go right. And you have to take risk. You have to take risk. Is it somebody's money that you want to use to take risk? How many people are able, when it's not your father or it's not your mother, how do you intend to go about that? All right. So a lot of people want to take risk, but on people's money. But there are not many people that want to do that for you. So you have to find a way to pool resources that you can use to take risk. Take a risk on the business you want to start. Take a risk on the skill to know if this thing can actually pay, if it can give you results, if it can, get you to where you want to be. And the earlier you start this, the better. As early as you can start earning, start putting some money into investment. All right, you want to make $1 million, for example, you just need about 50,000 naira to make $1 million. You need about 100,000 naira to make $1 million. You need about 20,000 naira to make $1 million. So if you can get something and then every month you put out 50,000 naira, maybe you get a job and they're paying you 80,000, and then you can decide to cut your expenses to live below your means. I do tell people, always live below your means. As somebody that is coming up, you need to live below your means. If you don't live it, see, what makes people rich is not actually how much they make. What makes people rich is how much they can keep, invest, and multiply. That's what makes people rich. How much they can keep, invest, and multiply. Some people make, you can't believe it, there are people that make 5 million naira a month, 10 million naira a month in this country. People's income is massively different. Across Africa, people make a lot of money. There are people that make so much money, but they don't keep it. They don't keep as much because their lifestyle is consuming almost all the money and even more. Some of them are in debt. They fly private jets, they do this, they do that. At the end of the day, there's nothing left. All right. So if somebody is making 100 million naira a month, for example, and give and take all his expenses in a month, private jet, this, that, expensive restaurants, this, everything he spends for is 110 million. But if you are earning 80,000 and you are able to live below your means and live on 30,000, for example, and decide that you want to save 50,000, it means that by the end of the month, you are 50,000 naira richer than the person who is earning 100 million. So it's not about how much you make. It's about how much you can keep and invest. So let's say you're making 50,000 and you decide, okay, I want to be putting it in a mutual fund, for example. And every month they pay you, you immediately move your 50,000 into the money market mutual fund and you abandon it there. And you find a way, because at the end of the day, if you have 30,000, you will be able to, you will force yourself to adjust. It's either you adjust to living on 30,000 or you find other means to make money to be able to survive for the month. And the next month you get it, you do the same thing. And the next month you get it. What it means is that maybe in 15 months or even 20 months, you might have 1 million. You might have 1 million. And then the other person who finishes it, waiting for when he's going to be able to make 10 million so that he can save 1 million. In 20 months, may not have started making 10 million to save 1 million. But you that started saving 50,000 has garnered up 1 million for bigger investment. And capital is king. See, cash is king. If you have capital, there's a lot you can do. There's so much you can do if you have capital. One of the biggest problems most young Africans have is that they are coming from a very, very poor background and they don't have access to capital as a result of that. They don't have access to capital. If the way you are right now watching this video, if they give you 100 million, of course, we've seen people who blow it. If they give you 100 million, you might be able to double it. You might be able to. But the problem is, how do you get the 100 million? How do you get it? And that is the advantage the rich has over the poor. Because growing up, they're able to give you money. If you read the book of Otedola, you see how his father gave him thousands of dollars to start. That is the advantage of the rich. They have capital. And you don't have capital. So you can't afford to dress to impress. You say you want to buy iPhone 17? You want to buy? What are you using it for? You just carry around. Except you're using it to make money, you don't need it. It's not an investment. Well, when I see some people make some decisions, I understand because of the kind of background they have. But when I see some people make some decisions, it baffles me because why would you be making this type of decision? Owing to your background, why would you be making this type of decision? You see a lot of people, they do crazy things. For example, you want to do a wedding, you are from a poor family. And you want to do a wedding. And then you have crazy budget. You want to do a big wedding. You want to go into debt because of wedding. It baffles me. Why won't you do something small? Why won't you do something small? You shouldn't even marry somebody who wants to do something big when he's not yet made. You are in for trouble because your partner is supposed to be somebody you can partner with to grow wealth. So it should be somebody that will say, okay, we can't spend this. Instead of us doing this, let's use it to open a small business. For example, instead of maybe doing a wedding of 3 million, you can take out 2 million. Open a provision store of 2 million around your area. All right? Use 1 million, do your whatever. Anything that 1 million can do. Then the remaining 2 million, you get somebody put there and you are overseeing it. Maybe when you come back from work, you go oversee what's going on there to make sure that things are running. And at the end of the month, whatever money you are able to get, maybe from the store, you are pulling out 50,000 naira every month to put in a savings for the children that are coming. So by the time the children are coming, you already have something waiting for them. I'm talking about this because I mentioned living below your means. A lot of people live way above their means. Way above their means. They live in very big, very expensive houses. They try to live a life that is totally above their net worth. And some people say, oh, it's fake it till you make it. Well, I don't know. Maybe that it works for some persons, depending on the industry or the kind of business you do. I wouldn't know, but I don't subscribe to things like that. So I believe, and remember, this video is for people who are coming from zero, people who are coming from poor families, people who are trying to build something, who are trying to be the first millionaire. It means that there is a pattern already in your family. It means that there's a pattern. Your father is not a millionaire. Your grandfather is not a millionaire. Your great-grandfather is not a millionaire. So you are trying to break a pattern. So you should be ready to do things that ordinarily you might not find easy to do, just to get the result you want to get. You may be willing to do things that may not make sense to people just to get the result you want to, because you know what you are trying to do. For example, like me. My grandfather was not a millionaire. My great-grandfather was not a millionaire. My father was not a millionaire. So me trying to be a millionaire is totally not things that I'm used to. I'm trying to move into a different culture altogether. So first, I have to be ready to do things that are not normal to me. And I think you should be able to do that too. All right. So living below your means is very important. And then investing what's left off. So whatever money you make, you live below your means. You live below your means to the point that you're able to have something reasonable left. And then that thing that is reasonable, don't keep it, take it, put it somewhere where it can appreciate. Just put it somewhere where it can appreciate. You can lock it. There are banks that where you lock your money and then they pay you interest. You can lock it. And keep doing it and keep doing it until the money becomes substantial enough for you to invest in something bigger that can give you bigger returns. So the way you see money, like we said in number one, is very critical, because when you see money as a tool to double and make more money, and then you start asking the right questions, it helps you to know what to do and the kind of investments to make based on the amount of money you have and the right where the channels to put it and how to put it. The third thing you must do if you want to become the first millionaire in your family is to learn a skill. Remember, you cannot save your way out of poverty if your income is too small. Even if you want to do some kind of investment where you're going to get 10% or 16% returns, it will not really amount to anything reasonable if your capital is small. It will not amount to anything so reasonable if your capital is what? Small. So for somebody who is coming from a poor family where you don't have any capital at all and you're trying to build a capital, you need to learn a skill. You need to learn a high income skill. A skill that is in demand, that people are willing to pay for. You need to learn not just any skill. Oh, I love this. I want to go and learn this because I love it. Are people, that thing you want to learn, do people need it? Are people interested in it? Are people willing to pay for it? So you don't just go and learn a skill because, oh, you feel like, I like this, I have passion for this, so let me go and learn this. No, you learn the one people are willing to pay for, because at this level, you're not doing what's your passion now. You need to do what will bring money. What you're looking for is something that will bring in extra income. Something that will bring in what? Extra income. You need income. You have a big problem, which is an income problem. So you're trying to solve it. So when you are making a choice of the skill to learn, it shouldn't be something this is something that I like. This is something that drives my fantasy. This is something I'm passionate about. What you are passionate about, does it bring money? Are people willing to pay for it? Is it something people can pay for? Is it a skill people are willing to pay for? So these are things you need to think about. These are questions you need to answer. But the third thing you must do is to learn a skill. So by the time you have money and then you want to invest it in yourself by learning a skill, because saving money will not make you wealthy. It will not make you a millionaire. It will not make you a millionaire easily. It might take you a very long time, especially if your income is small. So let's assume you're earning 50,000. How long would it take you? By the time you take out your expenses, your rent and all of that, what will it take you? How long will it take you to really be able to save up to $1 million? Even if you're saving 10,000, how long would it take you? All right, but if you can save that 10,000, you could use it to invest in learning a skill. We're in the digital age. You learn a digital skill. There are so many skills that can make you money. So many skills that can make you money that you don't even need to pay much for. And that is why I keep shouting about FECO. FECO is a platform that is for young Africans that are doing crazy things. If you go to that platform, literally they have a scholarship section. So you don't even need so much. You don't need so much. You can go to fecoedu.com, click on the scholarship section, go through the skills there, and they are all high income skills. artificial intelligence, data analysis, UI UX design, web development, sales. There's a course on sales. So many courses, graphic design that you can learn. And at the end of the learning, you add it as part of the things you do. And it increases your income. Because true, when I talked about earlier, when I talked about how I saved my income and all of those things, one of the things that made it possible for me to be able to do, because no matter how much you want to do it, if you save money and you don't eat, you will die. If you save your money and you don't eat, you need to eat to be alive, right? So if you save money and you don't have the money to eat, to at least sustain yourself, you will die. You will die. So one of the things that really helped me was the fact that I had a skill while I was serving, all right? When I was serving, because I read a book. I read a book as a youth corper, The Richest Man in Babylon. Then I read Think and Grow Rich. So these books that I read, I started trying to implement some of the things I learned. So when I read The Richest Man in Babylon, one of the things I learned there was savings and, and then I started trying to implement it. So then when I was serving, they were paying us 33,000. That was when they were still paying 33,000. And that 33,000 as at then was not enough. Of course, you are going to eat, you're going to subscribe, you need data for your phone and all of that. So what did I do? I started putting out 20,000. Because the truth is that I can do crazily insane things. I started putting out 20,000 out of the 33,000. Then the remaining 13,000, I would go buy foodstuffs, keep the ones it can buy. Gary, sugar, Gary, and other things. So after buying these things, I would, basically without any money. And I need money because you need to buy data, you need to go to work, you need money for transport to go to work and all of those things. So I started looking for what can I do? What can I do? I went online looking for opportunities. And then we didn't have opportunities like FECO, where you could literally go and learn a skill for free. For free. Where you could apply and learn a skill as high in demand as this for free. As an African, you could go to the platform and learn for free through their scholarship program. We didn't have platforms like FECO then. So what I did was I tried as much as possible to, look for means, and then I learned. Somebody taught me how to write CVs, and I started writing. All right, and then I started looking for other things I could do. I am a very good writer. I've always been. So I needed to, fine tune that, and I started writing. I started writing for politicians, writing for, lawmakers and all. I was writing bills and all of that. It was because of the need. I wouldn't have done that if if the money I had was enough for me. I would not start writing. I would not even explore my writing career. So you need to push yourself to that edge, so that you can discover some of the things you don't even know. You can do them, but you haven't really tried to monetize it. So what happened was that towards the end of my service, I've saved up some money, reasonable amount of money. I was putting out 20. I was over 100,000 after like 6 months. All right. So what I did was I went to pay Parity. I can't forget Parity. It's a tech hub in Mina, Niger State. I paid to learn graphic design, and I started that was how I started my journey in graphic design, and I started learning graphic design. I learned graphic design, and then I started designing for people free. When I was learning, I was just your business. I would design free. Christmas, New Year flyer, free. I was doing free. I was just trying to let people know that I was doing this. And before you know it, some people were like, "Oh, please, I will need this. How much?" And I was charging little then, 5,000. And for me, I was very happy. It was an extra source of income. So I'm just trying to open your eyes to the possibilities. You have an extra source of income. So at a point, I was no longer even interested in I think towards the ending, I now had my CV, I had my writing gigs, then I had graphic design going on for me. Though I was not really very good then, but I was getting people that I did free for that wants to, friends. Please help us design this, help us design this. And as time went on, I became better and better and better. And then I started charging more. It must not be graphic design. There are lots of things you can learn. And thank God for the gift of FECO. You could go there and learn for free. If you don't have money, go apply for their scholarship. Explore the options that are there. Learn one of them for free. If you have money, pay for the ones that you want. Take the courses. Get good at them. Invest your time. You are trying to get yourself another source of income. So you have to create out time for it in your schedule. These 2 hours, I'm going to invest it in this skill I'm learning. All right? Log into the website, click continue, class 1, class 2, class 3. And before you know it, you are done. You get your certificate and you are out. You are out. And you have another option. Your income increase. It means you can increase your savings. And before you know it, you hit your target. Because this thing is about planning. It's about mathematics. You want to make $1 million? Divide it. How much do I have now? How much can I put aside? How many times do I need to put this aside to get to this amount of money? Then you start doing it. You can actually do it. The final thing I must tell you is, set a goal to become a millionaire. For what it will make of you to achieve it. So for me, I always tell people this. It is not about the million. It can finish. But becoming the kind of person that can make 1 million, that can make 2 million, is what you want to experience. I'm not talking about all your expenses for the month, for the year. No. That can have 2 million, 1 million in your account. You don't have a debt. You're not owing anybody. It's not your rent or something. It's just there. It's your money. You can take it out and invest. You can take it out and do whatever you want to do. Becoming that person that can make 1 million, 2 million, 3 million is what I want you to experience. It will change your life forever. Set a goal today to become a millionaire. Whether you're a guy, whether you're a girl, set a goal. For every young African that is watching this, set a goal to become a millionaire for what it will make of you to achieve it. When you achieve it, it will make you a very different person. Because the guy, the girl that can make 1 million, that has made 1 million, and the guy that is at 0, they are 2 different people. They are not the same. They are not the same. And I want you to become that person that can make 1 million. So set yourself a goal today to become a millionaire, to make 1 million, to make 1 million in your currency. Make 1 million for what it will make of you to achieve it. Thank you very much. Follow us for more.